The church doors burst open with a deafening crash, and there she was. My mother, wild-eyed, her silk dress torn at the hem, screaming like a banshee from hell. "Stop this wedding! She's not who you think she is." The words sliced through the organ music, halting the melody mid-note. Guests gasped, turning in their pews like dominoes falling. My veil caught the draft from the open doors, whipping against my face like a slap. Alex, my fiancé, froze at the altar, his hand halfway to mine, his eyes widening in confusion. But it was the look on my father's face, standing beside him as best man, smug, almost relieved, that ignited the fury in my chest. In that instant, as the world tilted, I knew. This wasn't madness. This was sabotage. My own family had come to burn it all down. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat echoing the chaos. Humiliation burned my cheeks, hotter than the summer sun streaming through the stained glass windows. I stood there in my ivory gown that I'd saved for months to afford, feeling exposed, raw, like a wound ripped open for all to see. Whispers rippled through the crowd, friends, colleagues, distant relatives, all staring at me as if I were the criminal. "What does she mean?" someone murmured. My sister Lila, seated in the front row, averted her eyes, her fingers twisting the program into shreds. Brother Mark, next to her, smirked faintly, that same crooked grin he'd worn as a kid when he'd stolen my toys and blamed the dog. Mother stormed down the aisle, her heels clicking like gunfire on the stone floor. "Elena, tell them about the lies." She grabbed my arm, nails digging in, but her eyes, those cold, calculating eyes, held no concern, only triumph. Alex stepped back, his face paling. "Elena, what's going on?" His voice cracked, the trust we'd built over 3 years fracturing in seconds. I yanked away from her, my voice a hoarse whisper that carried too far. "What are you doing?" But inside, denial surged like a tidal wave. This couldn't be happening. Not today. Not after everything. We'd planned this wedding meticulously. The quaint church in our hometown, the reception at the old family estate, the vows we'd written in secret under starlit skies. It was supposed to be our escape from the suffocating grip of my family, who had always whispered doubts about Alex. Too ambitious, too outsider, not one of us. But now, as the priest cleared his throat awkwardly, I saw the truth flickering in Mother's gaze. This was deliberate. They'd orchestrated it. The ceremony dissolved into pandemonium. Guests murmured excuses and filed out, avoiding my eyes. Alex pulled me aside into the vestry, the room smelling of dusty hymnals and faded incense. "Talk to me," he pleaded, his hands on my shoulders, warm but trembling. "Your mom said. She said you've been hiding something. About your past. Debts. An ex. Elena, I need to know." I shook my head, tears blurring my vision. "It's not true. She's lying." But even as I said it, resentment coiled in my gut like a serpent awakening. Why would she do this? My family had always been a tangled web. Father's stern control, Mother's manipulative charm, Lila's jealous barbs, Mark's lazy entitlement. They'd resented my independence, my career as a journalist uncovering corporate scandals, while they clung to the family business, a crumbling real estate firm built on shortcuts and secrets. Alex, with his tech startup success, represented everything they feared. Change, exposure. As we drove away from the church, the reception tent at the estate loomed ahead, fairy lights mocking us in the daylight. Guests milled about, awkward and whispering. I confronted them in the garden, the air thick with the scent of wilting roses. "Why?" I demanded, facing Mother and Father under the arbor. Lila and Mark hovered nearby, feigning shock. Mother's lips pursed, her voice dripping false sympathy. "Darling, we couldn't let you marry him without him knowing the truth. About everything." "Everything," echoed, heartbeat thundering. Father sighed, his gravelly tone laced with authority. "The family debts, Elena. The loans we took in your name years ago. And the incident with that boy in college. We covered it up for you." Lies. There were no debts in my name. I checked my credit obsessively. And the incident. A fabricated story they'd whispered about to keep me in line. A supposed drunken mishap that never happened. But Alex, overhearing from the doorway, went rigid. "Is this true?" he asked, voice hollow. I spun on him. "No. They're twisting it. Alex, please." But doubt clouded his eyes, the seed planted. He left that night, packing a bag while I begged in the hallway, the wooden floors creaking under my frantic pacing. "I need time," he said, kissing my forehead one last time, the touch lingering like a goodbye. The door clicked shut, and I slid to the floor, sobs racking my body. Heartbreak clawed at me, sharp and unrelenting, mingling with a burgeoning rage. How dare they? They'd stolen my future, all to protect their precious facade. That night, alone in my apartment, the city lights blurring through rain-streaked windows, resentment festered into obsession. I paced the living room, the carpet rough under my bare feet, replaying every family dinner, every sidelong glance. Why sabotage me now? Digging through old emails on my laptop, the screen's glow casting shadows on the walls, I found clues. Father's business was failing. Embezzlement rumors I'd ignored. Mother's affairs, hinted at in Lila's drunken slips. Mark's gambling debts, paid off with family funds. And Lila. Jealous Lila, who'd always coveted my life, my successes. They'd used the wedding as leverage, spreading lies to Alex to drive him away, ensuring I'd stay close, perhaps to bail them out. Or worse, to silence me, the journalist who might uncover their rot. Guilt flickered briefly, had I been blind, but it was drowned by cold resolve. They thought me weak, the dutiful daughter. They were wrong. Days blurred into weeks. I feigned reconciliation, attending family lunches where the air hummed with unspoken tension. "We're sorry it got out of hand," Mother cooed over coffee, her manicured nails tapping the porcelain cup. "But it's for the best." I nodded, swallowing bile, my smile a mask. Inside, fantasies swirled, exposing them publicly, watching their empire crumble. But doubt crept in. What if revenge destroyed me too? Moral conflict gnawed. They were blood, flawed but family. Yet the humiliation replayed in nightmares. Alex's retreating back a constant haunt. I began planning in secret. Subtle at first, gathering evidence. A late-night drive to the family estate, the gravel crunching under tires, where I rifled through Father's study. The desk drawer yielded bank statements, forged signatures in my name, loans siphoned from Mark's vices. Photos of Mother's trysts, tucked in a locked box. Lila's emails plotting with them to save me from Alex. Each discovery fueled the fire. Obsession gripped me. I barely ate, the kitchen counters cluttered with takeout boxes. Fear whispered, what if they caught on? But resolve hardened. I tested the waters with veiled comments. At dinner, the chandelier's light casting elongated shadows, I said casually, "I've been thinking about family secrets. They have a way of coming out." Lila choked on her wine, eyes darting to Father. "What do you mean?" "Nothing," I replied sweetly, heart racing. Suspense built like a storm gathering. Quiet hints, my gaze lingering too long, their discomfort palpable. Weeks turned to months. Alex texted sporadically, the messages a lifeline and a torment. "Miss you," one read. I didn't reply, channeling pain into preparation. The annual family gala approached, a lavish affair at the estate, attended by business associates, local elite. Perfect stage. Inner turmoil peaked one rainy evening. Staring at my reflection in the fogged mirror, water dripping from the faucet like tears, I questioned, was this justice or vengeance? Guilt tugged, destroying them might shatter me. But resentment won. They'd burned my happiness. I'd expose their inferno. As the gala neared, tension simmered. Subtle foreshadowing in their behaviors. Father's increased drinking, the Scotch glass clinking nervously. Mother's forced laughter. Lila's accusatory stares. Mark's avoidance. They sensed something, but denial blinded them, just as it had me. The night before, I finalized my plan. A USB drive loaded with evidence, documents, photos, recordings of their confessions I'd secretly captured. I'd reveal it during the toast, projecting it for all to see. Poetic justice. Their lies exposed in one night, mirroring how they'd torched mine. Sleep evaded me, the sheets tangled like my thoughts. Fear mingled with exhilaration. Tomorrow the ember would become a blaze. The estate glittered under the evening sky, strings of lights draping the manicured lawns like a deceptive veil. Guests in tuxedos and gowns mingled on the terrace, laughter floating on the breeze scented with jasmine and cigar smoke. I arrived fashionably late, my black dress hugging my frame like armor, heels sinking slightly into the grass. Inside, my pulse thrummed with cold resolve, but doubt lingered like a shadow. What if this backfired? What if exposing them only deepened the family rift, leaving me truly alone? Mother greeted me at the door, air-kissing my cheeks, her perfume cloying. "Elena, darling, you look stunning. So glad you came." Her eyes searched mine, probing for cracks. I smiled, the expression practiced in the mirror. Wouldn't miss it. Suppressed rage simmered beneath. Her touch felt like betrayal incarnate. The ballroom buzzed with conversation, crystal chandeliers tinkling overhead. Father held court near the bar, his laugh booming but brittle. Lila hovered by the buffet, picking at canapes, her gaze flicking to me with veiled hostility. Mark slouched against a pillar, nursing a drink, his usual smirk absent. They moved like actors in a play, unaware the script had changed. I circulated, exchanging pleasantries, the champagne flute cool in my hand. Inner thoughts raced. This was it, the culmination of months of obsession. Fantasies of their downfall had sustained me, watching their faces crumple, the guests' gasps mirroring mine at the wedding. But guilt nagged. Were they monsters or just broken people protecting their own? Moral conflict twisted my gut. Revenge felt justified, yet gray, a mirror to their manipulations. A business associate, Mr. Hargrove, clapped father on the back. "Great speech tonight, Victor. Family legacy and all that." Father nodded, eyes darting to me. Of course. Unity above all. The irony burned. As dinner wound down, the scent of roasted lamb fading, tension coiled tighter. Subtle hints emerged. Lila's whispered aside to Mother. "She seems off." Mark's fidgeting, spilling his drink. They sensed the storm. The toast hour arrived. Father took the stage, microphone in hand, the spotlight casting harsh shadows on his lined face. "Friends, family," he began, voice steady but eyes uneasy. "Tonight we celebrate our bonds, the secrets, strengths that hold us together." Secrets. The word hung like a noose. As applause rippled, I stepped forward, heart pounding. "May I say a few words?" My voice cut through, clear and unyielding. Father hesitated, then handed the mic, his hand brushing mine, clammy, trembling. The room quieted, expectant. I faced them, the USB in my clutch like a loaded gun. "Family," I started, voice laced with feigned warmth. "We've shared so much. Joy, pain, lies." Murmurs stirred. Mother's smile faltered, her knuckles whitening on her glass. Lila froze mid-sip. Mark straightened, eyes narrowing. "I've learned a lot since my wedding day," I continued, pacing slowly, the wooden stage creaking underfoot. "About betrayal. About how far some will go to protect their illusions." Father cleared his throat. "Elena, perhaps this isn't the time." "Oh, it is," I interrupted, my tone sharpening, resentment bubbling over. "You see, that day you didn't just ruin my marriage. You exposed yourselves." Gasps echoed. I signaled the AV tech, bribed earlier with a promise of discretion, and the projector hummed to life. The screen behind me flickered, displaying the first slide. Bank statements, my forged signature circled in red. "What is this?" Mother hissed, rising. "Truth," I replied coldly. "Loans in my name, siphoned for Mark's debts." The next slide. Photos of Mother's affair, blurred faces but unmistakable settings. Infidelity covered up. Then emails from Lila. We have to stop the wedding. Alex will dig too deep. The room erupted in whispers. Guests shifted uncomfortably, eyes wide. Father's face drained of color, his mouth opening and closing like a fish. This is nonsense. Fabricated. Is it? I challenged, voice rising with fury. You spread lies about me to Alex. Debts, scandals to keep me tethered. To hide your rot. Lila lunged forward. You bitch. How dare you? Language, sister. I shot back, heartbeat thundering. Suppressed rage spilled. You were jealous. Always have been. Of my life, my love. Mark stammered. Elena, stop. We're family. Family. Heartbreak cracked my voice. You burned mine. The evidence mounted, recordings played, their voices admitting manipulations in hushed tones I'd captured. Guests murmured in shock. Hargrove pulled father aside, muttering about partnerships. Humiliation mirrored back at them, their empire cracking. But as the chaos peaked, a twist unfurled. Alex emerged from the shadows at the back. His presence a jolt. I'd invited him secretly, a wild card. Elena, he said, stepping into the light, voice steady. I saw the truth. Weeks ago. You sent me the files. The family whipped around. Mother's eyes bulged. You what? Alex faced them. You lied to me. About her. But she showed me everything. He turned to me, regret etching his features. I'm sorry I doubted. Relief flooded me, mingled with obsession's release. But guilt surged, had I gone too far? The room spun, sensory overload. Flashes from phones, the acrid scent of spilled wine, the cacophony of accusations. Father collapsed into a chair, head in hands. We did it for you, he muttered brokenly. The business was failing. We needed you close, your income. Motives laid bare. Not malice alone but desperation, fear of ruin. Layered human. Morally gray, they'd betrayed, but from their own abyss. Mother sobbed, mascara streaking. Please, Elena. Don't destroy us. Cold resolve wavered. This was poetic justice, yet the psychological impact hit. Their downfall was mine too. Family bonds, twisted but real. In the ensuing silence, unexpected consequences bloomed. Lila, tears streaming, confessed. I pushed them. I was scared you'd leave us behind. Mark nodded, shamefaced. A family unraveling, but perhaps mending. Alex took my hand, the touch grounding. We can start over, he whispered. I nodded, but inside conflict lingered. Revenge delivered, but at what cost? As guests dispersed, whispers of scandals trailing, I realized. Exposure wasn't just vengeance, it was liberation with scars. The night ended not in triumph, but quiet reckoning. Father approached, voice hoarse. Forgive us. Not yet, I said softly, heartbreak easing into tentative hope. The inferno had consumed the lies, leaving ashes for rebirth. But the twist. In exposing them, I'd exposed my own darkness. Obsession's grip, now loosened but forever changed.